food sector workers, from farmers to delivery drivers, will now be granted at least 2 weeks of paid sick leave, Governor Gavin Newsom said during his daily briefing on Thursday.
The people who grow our food, the people who pick our food, who pack our food, deliver our food, cook, serve and sell our food, Newsom said, will be granted the supplemental pay if they contract COVID-19 or if quarantine orders inhibit them from going to work. The move, he said, will ensure these workers are supported and the state's food supply chain stays safe.
The governor acknowledged how hard hit the sector has been during the pandemic and championed the workers who have continued to serve their communities, often putting themselves at greater risk.
You are not disposable, he said. You are essential and you are valued. I want to extend my deep appreciation to you.
The executive order also will help ensure workers will stay home when they are sick, and won't be forced to make the difficult and dangerous decision of going to work or foregoing pay.
It is in all of our interest that we prioritize the interests of these essential workers, he added.
Newsom also announced that, though California's coronavirus curve is beginning to flatten, Wednesday marked the state's most deadly day since the crisis began. 69 people passed away in 24 hours. The daily death toll beat out a record total from the day before when 63 people lost their lives.
890 souls have been lost since the beginning of this pandemic, Newsom said. We are not out of the woods.
Ag Secretary, U.S. food supply is strong, safe.
The number of individuals receiving intensive care, however, continued to slow. As of Wednesday night, there were 1,191 people in intensive care units in California and 3,131 hospitalized, a 0.9% decline from the day before. That is good news, but I caution everybody that one day's data point does not make a trend, Newsom said, explaining that he wants to see the numbers continue to drop before he will consider lifting the state's stay-at-home order.
The governor shared that he is coordinating with the federal government on that decision and was in discussions with President Donald Trump before the briefing began. Trump had expressed vitriol toward governors who opted to go their own way, incorrectly asserting early this week that he alone has the power to reopen states, but has since drastically shifted his tone to accommodate state-specific strategies.
At a White House coronavirus task force briefing Thursday evening, Trump announced his three-phase plan to reopen the country, noting that governors will be empowered to tailor their approach to the situation they are seeing on the ground.
If they need to remain closed, we will allow them to do that, the president said, adding that the federal government is also encouraging states to work together to harmonize their regional efforts.
3 regional pacts are already in place, including the West Coast framework made between California, Oregon and Washington, announced on Monday.
The timeline for the federal government's plan, White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator, Dr. Deborah Birx said, will depend on data and trends, left to the discretion of governors.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, also emphasized the dynamic nature of the plan, which will enable response and recovery to meet local needs. The phases will be staggered, he said, and each will require certain checkpoints without rebound at each level.
We are a very large country and we have different dynamics, Fauci said, emphasizing that safety remains the top priority.
We feel confident that sooner or later, we will get back to some form of normality, he added.
Newsom said the Trump administration has issued booklets to each state that detail guidelines for a phased reopening, but the California governor has not yet been able to review it.
Newsom added that he was encouraged by Trump's call for more testing.
The federal government will be doing much more still in that space, Newsom said. We are not attaching ourselves to the federal efforts, but we are encouraged to hear more is being done.
Gabrielle Cannon is a California reporter for the USA Today network. You can reach her at gcannon@gannett.com or on Twitter at Gabrielle Cannon.